Hey everyone, Morgan here. So let's talk cheese. I love cheese, I love cheese. And I tweeted the other day, I said, I'm really gonna miss cheese the most in the apocalypse. And I got a comment saying, well, you should do a video about what type of cheese is out there. There's farm cheese and stuff. Well, first of all, before we get into any of the types of cheeses taste tests here, in order to make cheese, you need whole milk. It needs that fat and everything. Even farm cheese takes whole milk. Any type of cheese that you make takes milk. So unless you have a cow or a goat or whatever, some sort of access to milk in an SHTF situation, then unfortunately, you're not going to be able to make milk. And condensed milk or powdered milk, it's just not going to work because it doesn't have the fat that cheese needs. And so that's kind of why making your own cheese in an SHTF situation, unless you have your own milk source, then it's just probably not going to be an option. That's why there's stuff like freeze-dried cheese. Now this was about it was about $15 just for this. Let's see, this is 8 ounces. But as soon as I opened it, it smells really good. I have it rehydrating here, and it's supposed to wait about 5 or 10 minutes. I think rehydrating cheese is kind of weird. I've never thought of doing that. Also, what we have is we have this delectable canned cheese. This is canned cheese, so right. Okay, there. It's canned cheese. See it? Okay. All right. So we have this canned cheese here, and it's kind of rubbery, really rubbery. Okay, so this is by Bega. This one can alone was $5, and I've seen it on Amazon for $10 for one can. It's a little pricey. The freeze-dried food, I think, is a little better priced. Okay, so we're gonna try the canned cheese first. As far as nutritional facts, things like that, this canned cheese is pretty bad for you. It has a ton of sodium. Let's see, the can, a serving size is it's 1/6 of the can. So if you put this into equal 6 slices, it should be about, one piece would be about 1/6 of it. And the sodium, of course, is going to be the worst. It's 490 milligrams per 6th. So that's a lot. But let's go ahead and get this out. It smells like fake cheese. I mean, it is processed cheese, processed canned cheese. Get out. I don't really see any water or anything, which is good. It's nice. It's good. Okay, so let's give this a try. It tastes like Velveeta. It's like a white version of Velveeta, but it's good. Speaking of Velveeta, there are actual store-bought stuff. I cannot buy this in the store. I haven't been able to find freeze-dried stuff, freeze-dried cheese in the store. What I have found is I've found Velveeta, of course, and then there's things like the Cheese Whiz, all those kinds of canned cheeses, cheese sauces, powdered cheeses, things like that. So there are types of cheeses that you can get from the store that might work as a sort of substitute, or maybe like a sprinkle or something, but I'm not really sure, but it's not actual cheese, it's not cheese. This is basically Velveeta though. But with all those, the expiration is a year or 2. So even the fake cheeses don't last a terrible long time. I really truly expected this canned cheese to be absolutely horrendous, but it's not terrible. I have to admit though, I am kind of my husband and I are kind of like a cheese snobs, So let's see, I think it's been about 5 or 10 minutes with this cheese. It feels reconstituted. It's kind of what it looks like. It says to drain off the excess water. It said it's a 1/4 cup of cheese with a 1/2 cup of water. I think the 1/2 cup of water was maybe a little much, but let's go ahead and drain off the cheese. Drain off the water. All right. So here's the cheese now after I've drained all the water. It's, you know, wet, and, you know, nobody really likes wet cheese. But I suppose I could leave it out on like a paper towel or something, just kind of let it dry if I wanted to. You know, but if I was going to cook something with this, it probably wouldn't matter that it's wet. You know, just put it in there and cook it. So we're going to try a little bit. See how acceptable it might be. Oh man. Freeze-dried cheese is very bland. It's just, it's like we eat Tillamook sharp cheddar, and man, I really must be a cheese snob, because this is just like I think I prefer the Bega Velveeta cheese. The canned cheese over this. It's okay. So for cooking and stuff, this is definitely a good option. I mean, it has cheese flavor. Even regular cheddar cheese, you know, it's obviously not fresh cheddar cheese, okay? You have to keep that in mind. But as far as getting freeze-dried cheese for like cooking, or, you know, having some sort of a little more normalcy in your prepping stuff, you know, freeze-dried cheese isn't a bad option. Just eating it straight like this, no go. Now eating this canned stuff just by itself is, I actually says, you know, I'm pretty impressed by the taste. It's okay. Again, it tastes like Velveeta, but you know, if I wanted just some cheese to munch on, I would actually munch on this canned cheese. I would not munch on the freeze-dried. In saying all that, again, this was about $15, this freeze-dried cheese, and this was only for 8 ounces. If you want any of the number 10 cans of freeze-dried cheese, it's going to be about $40, $40, $50, or $60. So it's a little expensive, but all freeze-dried stuff is kind of expensive anyway. It just kind of depends on your priorities, you know, what you really need. You know, do you need cheese, you know, in your preps, that kind of thing. Plus, this is kind of nice because now I can just take this and I can kind of repurpose it into smaller portions, and vacuum seal them. So maybe I could take this on like camping trips and things like that, and, you know, have a little cheese, you know, in our tacos or something, instead of taking fresh cheese. So this is good for camping purposes, you know, backpacking, you know, whatever, not just SHTF. So anyway, I think when it really comes down to cheese, just like when it comes down to fresh meats and things like that, freeze-dried is ultimately one of the best ways to go. But you have to keep in mind that the tastes are going to be a little different, you know. It's not going to be the same as fresh stuff, and that's okay, you know, because they're, you know, they're not fresh. But as far as cheese and the SHTF, there are some options. But, you know, what do you think? What would be your go-to way to get cheese in SHTF if you just had to get cheese? Would Cheese Whiz be enough for you? Alright, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later. Let's see what the doggies think of the cheese. Here, Isaiah first. This is the freeze-dried. It's for Miles. What do you guys think? Dogs will eat anything. You're not a good judge.